Gold mining is a risky business, but for Parker Schnabel, it's a job, it's an addiction. Parker has struck a jackpot so massive that it could change everything. It's not a regular find. It's actually a legendary strike miners dream of in their lifetime. Miners spend their lives season after season seeking this kind of find. But what does it imply for Parker's legacy? Is this wild finding the key to rewriting the gold rush rules and making him a real legend? Parker's love of gold mining, the thrill of the hunt, is alive and well in the modern world, proving that gold mining is a vast business today. And one show that has captured it all is Discovery Channel's Gold Rush. Shot in the rugged terrain of Dawson City in Yukon, Canada, the show chronicles a crew of fearless miners in search of the glint of gold. Each season, viewers witness a string of roller coaster successes and heart-stopping setbacks. Among them, one of the miners has emerged above the pack from day one, Parker Schnabel. He originally joined Gold Rush when the show first started in 2010. For only a few episodes. Parker's passion for the job made him a top pick for fan favorite immediately. Being young didn't hinder Parker one bit from setting his mind on the achievement, which in itself was unique given that older, experienced miners populate most mining endeavors. Oftentimes criticized for his hot-headed and volatile personality, Parker didn't hesitate to showcase the ferocity behind him to help achieve huge profits. In spite of his popularity and tough exterior, Parker's personal life outside the show is still somewhat of an enigma to his public. Raised and born in Alaska, he describes his childhood as similar to the region, filled with much time spent outside hunting. His family did not have to buy meat for almost 5 years because of Parker's hunting skills, something that he is still proud about today. Parker's tastes, though, shifted when he was a teenager. The thrill of the chase was replaced with something even more exhilarating: gold hunting. Parker is now a dirt sage and gold mining behemoth, earning an estimated $2 million annually. This phenomenal success has made him the face of Gold Rush, and he is a modern-day treasure hunter, relentless in the pursuit of gold. Parker began his foray into reality television and gold mining at the age of 15, operating his grandfather's Big Nugget mine, a small mine that his grandfather had started. Parker still keeps the wisdom that his grandfather imparted to him, and when a TV crew arrived to shoot, they witnessed something special. They were drawn to the way Parker reconciled the challenges of gold panning with the vigor and optimism of youth. They couldn't help but record him, and they never did stop. Gold mining is tough, but Parker, driven by his grandfather, seemed to have endurance and foresight well above his years. At age 19, Parker had outgrown Big Nugget and set out into the vast, uncharted lands of the Canadian Klondike. Although becoming rich was still a fantasy, Parker was not disappointed. In a business where every ounce of gold requires Herculean effort, Parker cut his niche. He attributes his success to one simple strategy: putting all of the profits back into the ground. Regardless of his millions, Parker's private life is modestly understated. "I don't have a yacht, fleet of flashy cars, or mansion," he says to us. "What I have is an expensive, huge sandbox." His habit of reinvesting is particularly significant, considering that working in the Klondike costs only 1 ounce of gold valued at about $1,500 to excavate enough soil to fill a half-Olympic-sized pool. With a short mining season and costs as high as almost $2 million for fuel alone, every move is crucial. Get it wrong, and the whole operation comes to a halt. What is interesting, however, is that Parker is not even particularly interested in the gold itself. To him, gold is merely the cash that funds his operation. The real thrill is the quest, the endless search, and sustaining an operation in one of the most hostile environments on the globe. Parker's fame has also led him to new endeavors beyond gold digging. With his business savvy, he spent his off-seasons creating different Gold Rush spin-offs, one more adventurous than the last. In one such venture, Parker traded the cold, icy north for the dense, rugged jungles of Ghana, putting his mining skills to the extreme in an entirely new environment. At 30 now, Parker reflects on his unorthodox path and teases frequently about how he spent more time with older miners than with peers his age. Managing a company with a crew of seasoned miners who weren't too thrilled to take instructions from a young foreman wasn't easy. But Parker isn't done yet. He's scheduled to start new TV series, as well as promising new mine sites to prospect. He's even considering opening a marijuana farm, although he jokes that maybe one day, he'll just sit back and flip burgers for a change of pace. The only thing certain is that easy isn't in Parker's vocabulary. Parker's success has rewarded him millions and made him a household name among viewers of the gold rush worldwide. His net worth as of 2020 is approximately $10 million, a mind-boggling amount for someone who's barely in his 20s. But far from letting that be an excuse to slack off, Parker continues to reinvest his earnings back into his company, continually improving his machines to keep his business running at maximum efficiency. His mining profits don't just make him wealthy. They also sustain a large crew, bringing in good wages for those who work just as hard as he does. While the show began with his grandfather, John Schnabel, who founded Big Nugget Mine, soon enough Parker found himself in the spotlight. He quickly moved from being a young aide to captain of his own fate, making decisions that directly impacted his crew's lives. When John Schnabel stepped back from the show following season 2, it marked a turning point for Parker. His grandfather's stepping away placed the limelight on Parker, and he became the show's young hotshot sensation. In 2016, the Gold Rush fans and Schnabel family suffered a crushing blow as John Schnabel passed away at the age of 96. The mining community lost a legend, and Parker his biggest mentor and idol. John was not just a miner. He was a living example of determination, working in the mine until merely 2 years before his death. For John, Parker's reach went beyond the mine. Being brought up in a stable home financially, as a result of his grandfather's success, Parker had things working in his favor, like money for college. Yet, for all the traditional path that now lay before him, Parker forged the harder path, mining. Instead of spending his money for college on schooling, he invested it in his own mining business. It was not long before this maneuver was rewarded. In Gold Rush's second season, Parker and his crew found gold, 3,300 ounces valued at about $388,000. This was the turning point for his life and career, with him knowing he was where he belonged. It encouraged Parker to remain in the mining business, and his grandfather observed him grow up from a defiant child into a hard, competent leader. His connection with fans remains strong, and he regularly gets in touch with them on various social media channels. In a 2017 Facebook Live Q&A, he opened up about his life, discussing the peaks and valleys of his career from losing his grandfather to operating his own crew. Parker's legacy is choice, the choices he has made and how he's always willing to carve his own way that few are willing to follow. His life is all about gold prospecting, yes, but also filled with stories, memories, and personal challenges that go far beyond the weight of gold. One of his stories that have remained with him is that of his biggest find, a 4-ounce gold nugget worth $400,000 to $500,000, discovered in Gold Rush, Parker's Trail's Future Ground episode. While it was comparatively small compared to the mammoth nuggets his grandfather hit during the 1980s, it was still an inspiring discovery for Parker, illustrating how the mining game is always adapting. Despite those mutations, Parker has remained resolute season after season, yielding remarkable quantities that assert him as the greatest of the new generation in the business. Parker's fame on Gold Rush also paved the way for future TV projects, including an adventure of epic proportions down the historic Klondike Trail with cameraman James Level and Rick Ness. The adventure was the hit miniseries Gold Rush, Parker's Trail. The journey, however, wasn't smooth sailing. The demands of the trip revealed some friction in team dynamics, particularly between James and Parker. Their clashing personalities tested Parker's patience and focus. Those scenes, though teased on camera, revealed the raw reality of working on high-pressure levels in mining and television production. When considering the finest memories from Gold Rush, Parker often remembers his early times with his grandfather, who not just instructed him in the art of a miner, but also the demeanor of a leader. From uncovering his record-breaking nugget to clashing with coworkers, Parker's experience is that of a young man who's digging deeper and into his soul. There was something different about Parker Schnabel and his granddad right from the start, beyond the family ties. On a fundamental level, it rested on common interest and mutual respect. As his career began to grow, he realized how strange that relationship had been, especially as it was difficult to stay in touch with old friends over time. Friends moved on, and the pressures of work have often caused relationships to fall by the wayside. If his grandfather were alive today, he would no doubt be proud of everything Parker has done. One of the high points of Parker's life was when Ashley Yu joined Gold Rush in Season 6. The two met in 2016, and Ashley jumped headfirst into the grueling world of reality TV and mining with Parker. Although you could tell Parker had a crush on her, she was no longer part of the show by Season 9. In a 2018 episode, Cowboy Dumping, Parker announced publicly their breakup, admitting that they'd had a successful mining season but not paid much attention to their relationship. He revealed that Ashley deserved more than he had been giving her, and the demands of mining and capturing it were tough on keeping their relationship together. Parker also dated gold miner Tyler Mahoney on a reported rumor basis prior to being involved with Ashley. This romance was hinted at in 2020 when the two teamed up for Season 4 of Gold Rush, Parker's Trail. However, Tyler clarified that despite having a great working relationship, no romance blossomed. Parker Schnabel's rags to riches story goes far beyond reality TV and traditional mining. He's proven himself to be a smart businessman with a global vision, running mining operations in diverse geographies such as Australia, Papua New Guinea, Canada, and Ghana. By diversifying his business, Parker has shown a wonderful understanding of the global gold mining industry, making each step with finesse to make his operations thrive, no matter the terrain. Despite all that he's achieved and is famous for, Parker is surprisingly humble. Instead of living the life of extravagance traditionally befitting one who is wealthy, he reinvests his earnings back into his enterprise, supporting his team and increasing his operations. This humility, along with his willingness to share both his success and failure, has endeared him not just as a viewer, but as an object of genuine respect by his peers and viewers. Known for his wit and charm, Parker often cracks jokes about being homeless. This mentality has gained him respect as a leader and a person people can relate to. With the return of the new season of Gold Rush, Parker, now age 29, is again showing everyone why he is one of the most revered men in mining. The year started off with a difficult period, 5 weeks of little gold, which strained the entire operation financially. But Parker never flinched. Instead, he went ahead and spent $15 million in the Dominion Creek region, a move that was expected to uncover a staggering $160 million of gold. Parker pushed his staff under tremendous pressure, asking them to refine their mining techniques and work over wider areas. His leadership and expertise kept them at it after a rocky beginning. That setbacks are not what they are about. He is driven by them. Parker and his crew made the best of their wagering risk by season's close, bringing out 7,381 ounces of gold, nearly $1.5 million worth. It continues to reinforce Parker's title as one of the finest of the mining crowd's gurus. Parker's next major leap is underway. His own net worth currently stands at an impressive $13 million, and his business acumen goes far beyond Gold Rush. His firm, Little Flake Mining, made news recently with a new undertaking in conjunction with Metallic Minerals. Under the deal, Parker's firm now owns exclusive rights to a substantial portion of gold claims on Australia Creek in the Yukon, projected to hold millions of ounces of as-yet unmined gold. This partnership is a big deal for both companies, with profits running back to Metallic Minerals on every ounce of gold extracted. Parker has grand ambitions for this venture, with plans to sink 400 test holes over the winter and initiate full production mining come spring. If everything pans out, the new venture will generate healthy profits for Parker and his team, and for Metallic Minerals. These are high-expectation operations, but given Parker's proven track record of getting difficult terrain to produce gold-rimmed success, there's every likelihood to expect that this venture will thrive. Parker's dedication to safe mining was vindicated recently when he was awarded the high-level Robert Ely Award at the 50th Annual Geosciences and Exploration Conference in January 2025. The award is a fitting tribute to a young man whose expertise has revolutionized the fate of gold mining.